Okay. All right, guys. So we're going to talk about attributes between horizontal and vertical parabolas. So I'm going to fill out the vertical column first. First and foremost, the very first thing that's up there is how you are going to find the p-value. And remember, the p-value is always the reciprocal of 1 over 4p. That's super important up there. Just remember that's how you find it. And we'll also talk about it at the end. All right, sketch for a vertical parabola. It's either up or down, y'all. Just sketch an up U and down U. Not a big deal. Standard form. For the standard form of a parabola, we kind of talked about this on Thursday. Remember, for standard form, x minus h squared, that's the only thing that's on one side of the equal sign. On the other side is 4p, and then this is going to be y minus k. And you guys know if the graph opens up, the a value is positive. So if the a value is greater than 0, it opens up. If the a value is less than 0, it opens down. Vertex is the hk, your focus. So remember, based on what we just did, your focus is a vertical move from the vertex. And if it's a vertical move from the vertex, then the h is going to stay the same. You're just going to add or subtract the p-value if it opens up or down. So remember, your focus is on the inside. Your directrix is not on the inside. So you would go p places away from it. So it's y equals k plus or minus p. Whatever you did to the focus, you're going to go in the opposite direction to get the vertex, to get the directrix. And then your axis of symmetry, I think you guys should have that memorized from Algebra 1. Remember, it's always x equals h. And then when we looked at this page, the first thing we talked about was how your focal width was 1 over a. So remember, we're ending. So important for you to memorize your focal width. Your focal width is 1 over a, and your focal width always has 4 p's. Always. Okay, so now let's talk about sideways parabolas. The good news about sideways parabolas, some of this stuff is already the same. This, still the same. 4 p's is going to make up the official focal width. It doesn't matter if it's sideways or up and down. Same with your vertex, y'all. It's always going to be hk. And then everything's just flipped, y'all. If you have an axis of symmetry of x equals h, then here it's going to be y equals k. X equals h, y equals k. So if the directrix starts with a y value for a vertical, then it starts with an x value for a horizontal. And remember, there's sideways movement going on horizontal parabolas. So if there's sideways movement going on horizontal parabolas, then this is going to be h plus or minus p. And again, if there's sideways movement going on with horizontal parabolas, then your focus is moving sideways. There's never going to be any up or down movement. Everything's horizontal. So right above here, that next column or that next row above it, if A is negative, that means we want our X values to go down. So do you think it's going to open to the left or to the right? It's to the left, because the left is where the X values get smaller. So if it's positive, it's got to open the other direction where the x values get larger, which is to the right towards positive infinity. And then standard form kind of looks like the first column. It's just going to be y minus k by itself now. And that's going to be 4p times x minus h. And then just sketch a couple of sideways parabolas. And we are ready to move on to the next one. So for me, when I sketch and work through these stuff and write equations, y'all, I still don't have this memorized. When I was up here filling this out for you, I was visualizing a graph in my head. So don't get too bogged down with this, but this is a great graphic to show you how similar they are. Everything's just flip-flopped. Okay, so you already did the first example. Let's go to example 2. All right, so up, down, left, or right? Left. It's left. Good job. What's the official focal width? Good job, 16. What's the p-value? The p-value is 4. That's everything you need. You guys should be able to roll with this. Do remember though, whatever is in parentheses is always opposite. If it's not in parentheses, then you take the sign. So in number 2, it's in vertex form, but it's a sideways graph, which means we're going to keep the sign of 5, but you're changing the sign of the k. You told me left already. You told me if p was 4. Are there any questions on why p is 4? Any questions on how we got that? 4 is not even in the equation. There's not even a 4 in the equation. But the p-value is 4. Focus. Where's your focus? Is it going to be to the right or to the left of the vertex? To the left, whatever direction it's opening, that's where the focus is heading. So your directrix is going to be on the right side. All right, so let's plot what we know. We know this is at a 5, -2. We know it opens to the left, and we know that our p-value is 4. I'm going to go 4 to the left. There's the focus. I'm going to go 4 to the right. There's the directrix. So my focus is going to be 5 minus 4, which is a positive 1, -2. My directrix is going to be 5 plus 4, which is 9. Okay, so you guys told me the focal width was 16, which means from the focus, I'm going to go 8 up, plot a point, 8 down, plot a point, and then that's it. So here's the focus. We're going to go 8 places up, 8 places down. This is a very wide parabola, but that makes sense because 1/16 is a very small number. Any questions on that? Nope. All right. Let's take a look at example 3. Y'all, there's a typo on example 3. Look, you got to cross that out. You got to write y equals a -3. Make sure you fix yours or else it will totally not make sense at all. It's at the bottom of that other page, at the very bottom. Okay, so example 3, write an equation for the graph that is the set of all points in a plane that are equidistant from point F. That right there, y'all, this is the definition of a parabola. Equidistant from a point and a line. So let's go ahead and take a look at what's going on. This is the focus. This is the directrix. Notice that the focus and the directrix are 6 units apart. So if the focus is at 0, 3 and the directrix is at a -3, That's 6 units. Right in between those two is going to be your vertex. So if 6 units is the total distance, then the midpoint of that is going to be your vertex. So the p-value is a 3. So we're going to write this in vertex form, then we're going to write it in conic standard form also. So remember, if the p-value is 3, how many p's are in the focal width? That's right, there is 4. So if there are 4 p's in the focal width, what's the focal width? 12. We're done. That's it. That's all you need to know. Can you flip 12 upside down? What is the inverse of 12? That's your A value. Are we going to keep that A value positive? How come? It does open up, which we know because there's a picture there. But what if there wasn't a picture? You would be able to tell the direction of the opening from that. Your focus is above your directrix. So vertex form, remember, vertex form, we use the A value. So it's going to be y equals 1/12 x squared. But we got to do conic standard form too. And conic standard form, I'll write right here because I don't have any blank space for it. Conic standard form, remember the squared term is by itself. So this time it's going to be x squared equals the focal width times y. Vertex form, standard form. Do you guys have any questions on that?